The recent update on NCIS Origins has heightened excitement for Gibbs' prequel story, which focuses on the early career of Leroy Jethro Gibbs, played by Austin Stoll. This version of Gibbs will differ significantly from Mark Harmon's portrayal, reflecting a younger, more vulnerable character grieving the loss of his wife and daughter just months prior. Stoll's Gibbs will be navigating a new job while dealing with profound emotional trauma, which promises to provide insight into his eventual stoicism in NCIS. This approach allows the prequel to explore Gibbs' character development and the impact of his losses, making the narrative both distinct and enriching for fans familiar with the original series. The show aims to deepen the understanding of Gibbs' past, enhancing the emotional resonance of his story. NCIS Origins update makes me way more excited for Gibbs' prequel story. The recent NCIS Origins update about Gibbs' characterization makes me even more excited about the prequel. While NCIS Origins will still be a police procedural that features weekly cases, the show will largely focus on the early career of Leroy Jethro Gibbs. The famous NCIS character will be played by Austin Stoll, already a departure from the original show. In a recent interview, Stoll revealed that his version of Gibbs will be different from Mark Harmon's version, which gives me even more reason to look forward to the show as the premiere nears. I am excited to see how the NCIS Origins cast navigates Gibbs' story, and learning that Stoll's young Gibbs will be different from Harmon's Gibbs is undeniably intriguing. Of course, NCIS Origins takes place years prior to NCIS, so some differences between the portrayals are expected. However, the mystery of just how different the characters will be is a question that has piqued my interest. The NCIS Origins update by Stoll offered some hints as to the differences between the actors' portrayals of the stoic Gibbs. How Austin Stoll's Gibbs will be different from Mark Harmon's version. Austin Stoll's Gibbs will be experiencing a lot of firsts. In a surprising twist, NCIS will be switching things up by offering a look at a very different Gibbs in NCIS Origins. Austin Stoll's Gibbs will not only be younger, but he will also be in a very emotional state. NCIS Origins takes place only a few months after Gibbs lost both his wife and daughter in a tragic incident, so Stoll's Gibbs will be in a very delicate place. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Stoll said his Gibbs is not the guy that the fans are used to. Gibbs will be experiencing a lot of firsts. He is grieving, he just lost the two most important people in his life, and he is starting a new job. In the interview, Stoll also said that Gibbs will be experiencing a lot of firsts. He is grieving, he just lost the two most important people in his life, and he is starting a new job. The stress of change is already enough to impact a person, but the young Gibbs is going to be going through so much in NCIS Origins that his character will be very vulnerable. The portrayal of Gibbs in NCIS Origins will be directly connected to the losses Gibbs experienced just a few months before the show's start, making the raw emotion unavoidable. Stoll's description of Gibbs is very different from the Gibbs we see in the first 19 seasons of NCIS. In NCIS, Gibbs is emotionally distant, likely a result of the trauma he experienced from his two losses. It takes years for his team to learn about him as he is conservative with the information he shares. By the end of Harmon's time on NCIS, his team knows a lot about him, but it was not an easy process. Understanding more about this journey and why he was so closed off is a fascinating prospect, one which promises to make the original NCIS even more emotionally rewarding. NCIS Origins having a different Gibbs is great for the prequel. The prequel will highlight Gibbs' character development. Having a different version of Gibbs in NCIS Origins is great for the show because it allows the prequel to stand out. It helps keep the show distinct and adds elements to Mark Harmon's Gibbs that are not explained in NCIS. Furthermore, by focusing on Gibbs' character development and his emotional state, NCIS Origins can expand on why the NCIS version of Gibbs is the way that he is. It will also be interesting to see how the experiences that Gibbs has in NCIS Origins turn him into the character we see in NCIS.by deepening Gibbs through Stoll's portrayal. NCIS Origins can also avoid falling into the trap of recreating the same story in a different setting. The NCIS universe has been successful so far in creating separate, detailed characters in each spin-off, but there was a risk of recreating too much of NCIS in NCIS Origins rather than adding something new to the series. By ensuring that Stoll's Gibbs is different from Harmon's version, the prequel can set itself apart while still holding on to the familiar aspects of NCIS that have made it so popular. NCIS Origins will add to Gibbs' most tragic story. We will finally see the impact of Gibbs' greatest losses. The death of Shannon and Kelly led to Gibbs being honorably discharged from the Marine Corps and joining NIS, the precursor to NCIS. NCIS Origins examines this period of Gibbs' life. Despite the series starting after Gibbs' losses, the prequel will likely reveal more details about Shannon and Kelly through flashbacks or dialogue, as Gibbs will be going through a very difficult time in his life. The story is already so heartbreaking, but I am looking forward to gaining a more inside look at Gibbs' relationships with Shannon and Kelly.